In today's video, I am talking about coping with anxiety and dealing with it through my very intense work environment and how I'm coping since my last video where I had a breakdown basically. So I'm just going to be discussing what has happened since then, what I'm doing, and what's going to happen going forward. Hello my YouTube family, and thank you for showing up today. If you are new here, hi, how are you? My name is Nompi, and this is the Show Up with Nompi, where we are learning how to practice self-love by showing up for our goals, aspirations. In this channel, honey, we are gonna dream, plan, and do to a better life together, honey. So stick around and we are gonna do this. Okay, so what are we showing up for today? Today we are continuing from the last video and showing up for our mental well-being. Okay, so my last video was wild to say the least. In my last video, I was talking about how I am very much stressed out and unhappy about my work situation right now, and I just got into a place of hate for my job, and I did not want to leave because I don't want to be unemployed and all of these things. But few things unfolded since then, guys. Okay, firstly, not everyone was happy with me coming out and saying that, and I absolutely understand where they come from, and I did expect it. In all honesty, I wasn't expecting everyone to understand my point of view or appreciate it, so I'm okay with that. Just to put it out there, I am okay with people not understanding, but in all honesty, I have no regrets. Okay, we are suffering inside at the workplace, and we do not say anything to anybody because mental health is personal, right? But you need to show up. For me, is 10 hours to 12 hours sometimes in the workplace. You need to show up in the workplace for that many hours. You cannot hide issues and let them not come out. You know, if you are going to be your true whole self, as they love saying that I want my people to be their true selves when they show up at work, these things are going to come out, and we need to learn to be honest and have a okay platform or a healthy space to talk about them and not feel criticized, or if you are criticized, not feel sidelined or kind of like, you know, discriminated for it. So anyway, let's get into the crux of this video. So what has happened since the last video is pretty much I'm still employed. I have not quit. If you guys haven't gotten into it, I'm still frustrated about my work environment, and I still feel toxicity coming from it. I'm still unhappy about it, but I am working on getting better. What I've come to realize since then is that work is my trigger. My job has become my trigger for my anxiety, right? And I'm very, very happy that I did not quit, because I think had I just quit, I would have never gotten into a space where I wanted to go toe and toe, like woman to woman, with my anxiety and really learn coping mechanisms and learn how to deal with that in a healthy way and not just retreat. Okay, so yes, work is weird, work is spicy, work is shady, but those things are triggers for my anxiety, and that causes the emotional breakdowns and the tears and the insomnia and the not eating right and the feeling sick and the headaches and all of that stuff. So I am gonna work on the anxiety. So here are 3 or 4 things that I have done since then, which I think are gonna move me forward, and hopefully you learn something from them. So the first thing that I did was reach out for help. Okay, guys, I think this is very important. I realized that I need to talk to a professional. Most of us don't like hearing this because even for myself, when I did reach out to the professional, I was embarrassed. Okay, I was embarrassed. Like, what? Am I the one person in this workplace who doesn't know how to deal with the emotions? Am I the weakest link? Am I the weak one? Or Or like, what is it? Am I a factory default? Because everyone around me who works with me seems to be doing okay, right? Or at least I think so. So I was like, why am I the one who's not coping, right? But then I realized that it's not about them. And if I want to show up right to my workplace and to every other area of my life, because this started affecting my entire life, I need to seek some professional help. In the past, anxiety has been an issue for me, and how I coped with it was retreat. Also dump myself with positive quotes and positive saying and pretend like nothing is wrong, and eventually it catches up with me again. So now, you know what, it's the end of the road with me and anxiety. We need to have a conversation and deal with it. So I knew I needed some help. So I had my first session with a therapist, and interesting, I will share a video on that. But for now, just know I had my first session with a therapist, and that was the first thing that I did. The second thing that I did was set boundaries and talk about it. Be honest about it. And I'm honest because at the end of the day, I'm in a phase of learning. This is a new job for me, and I'm honest with those people. So if you are overwhelmed in the workplace and things are getting wild, I think you should reach out to your managers and reach out to your stakeholders to say, you know what, I've got a lot to do right now and you need to calm down. All right. And then the other thing that I did regarding my work and everything I needed to do is I did a brain dump, okay? The tasks in my head they swim in my brain, and I feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much, this, that. So I did a brain dump of all the tasks that I had to do. I wrote it all down, and then I transferred that into like sticky notes, all the tasks, and I did a Kanban board. A Kanban board is like a board where you show everything you need to do and how far you are with everything. So I did a Kanban board. I transformed a part of my workstation into a Kanban board, and I categorized it into in progress, waiting for, delayed, and done. And what I love about my Kanban board is that instant gratification that I get when I move something from in progress, physically move it to done, right? It gives me some assurance and surety that I'm getting somewhere. Instead of all of these things floating in my head thinking I'm not winning, I visually see me win when I close something and I execute on something. And that has really kind of helped me feel like I am moving forward with everything and feeling overwhelmed. It has helped me kind of feel like there is progress, right? Yeah. So the other thing that I did that I want to talk to you guys about, guys, I started meditating. I started practicing visualizations, and I started doing breathing exercises, but more so I started praying, okay? I started praying more. So I do a little bit of meditation. I don't do it all the time or every day. I try to do it when I want to get centered, but I kind of try and find myself in a calm space and just focus on my breathing and focus on to getting a nice, like a good space and a good clear mind, and just clear my mind of everything, right? I do that. I think the past 2 weeks or so, I've done that probably like 5 or 6 times. And I love it. I love the peace that comes with it. But it's a lot of hard work though, also, because sometimes it's just you get distracted and you're not focused, but I power through it. And then the other thing I've done is visualization. So every time when I wake up in the morning, I take a moment to visualize my day and the tasks or the key things that I want to do today and focus on. And that brings focus to my day and brings some level of stability, because I always want to measure myself against something, right? So I say, today you're going to do 3 things. You're going to close these 3 things. See yourself closing them and see yourself powering through them. And irregardless of all the other demands that might come, if you can just apply yourself to do these 3 things, tomorrow will be a better day. And that is how I'm closing off on my Kanban board as well, right? And then the other thing is mantras. Oh my gosh, guys, I love mantras. I love mantras because mantras remind me of who I am and what I can do and what I'm doing over and over again. So one of the key mantras that I do a lot is saying I can do hard things, okay? When I feel myself feeling overwhelmed and scared, I don't know how to do this task. Remember, I'm in a new job, so a lot of the things are new to me. When I feel my thoughts just get away with me, or when I feel that feeling of fear and stress come along, I just say, I can do hard things, I can do hard things. I can power through this, I can power through this. And as I go, I will get better. That's one of my mantras that I enjoy saying. And another one of my mantras that I love saying is that your self-worth is safe with me. As I said in the last video, I tend to measure my delivery or my execution or my performance, and I tend to associate that with my self-worth, and that is not healthy, okay? So what I do a lot of now, I don't always win, but I see myself getting better and being more mindful around how I treat myself is saying, Nompi, your self-worth is safe with me. Your self-worth is safe with me. Your self-worth is safe with me. Irregardless of whether this person is going to like what you did or didn't do, you are going to be okay because your self-worth is safe with me. I will protect you. I will love you. I will care about you irregardless of how this person feels about what you delivered or how you couldn't do this at that time. Your self-worth is safe with me. Your self-worth might not be safe with them. They might see your worth as less if you don't do the things they ask you to do. But you, as me, Mpumi, my self-worth is safe with me, and that is all that matters in the moment. And then the other thing I started doing was breathing exercises. They calm me down, they make me feel at peace, and I appreciate them so much. So I got this watch, and in the watch I did the stress manager thing. In the stress manager, it talks me, it coaches me through breathing essentially. So it'll say breathe in for 7 seconds, hold it for 4, and breathe out. Okay? No, wait, it's breathe in for 7 seconds. No, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, breathe out for 8. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love how that breathing in and out makes me feel better. And I knew about this for a long time, but I thought that doesn't help, right? I'm like, oh, that's a bunch of nonsense. But I will say, for one, don't write anything off until you actually do it. So I assumed it won't help. I assumed it's some weird as hippie stuff before I even tried it. So trying it now is like, damn, this actually helps, right? So yeah. So that is about the key things that I have been doing recently. And I just want to mention, not every day I win, okay? Not every day I win. Some days I'm miserable and terrible, but I power through them, and I remind myself, your self-worth is safe with me, and you can do hard things, and you will power through this, and you will live through this, and you will come out better. You just need to work on this, okay? Okay. Actually, that felt like a pep talk to myself, actually. But what now? What happens after this, right? So A, I'm going to continue going to therapy, and B, I want to start living again. I want to continue living and start living the way I used to live, right? And what I mean by that is that I want to be, regardless of the fact that I'm going through anxiety or I'm going through a rough patch at work. I want to be, I want to live, guys. I loved going to the gym. I loved eating healthy. I loved working on my sewing, working on a business. I loved hanging out with my friends and just showing up, right? And that's what I mean by this. I'm gonna continue showing up, because let me tell you something that I realized about anxiety. Anxiety wants you all to yourself, okay? You feel like you have a good reason not to continue eating healthy, not to wake up and exercise today, not to do this, not to see yourself, because I'm going through a rough patch, I'm going through anxiety. You feel like you've got a good reason, and that's exactly where it wants you. It wants you feeling trapped, like it's the only thing that consumes your life, and everything else, it's okay to not do it because you're going through this, right? And that's the daily fight that you need to get into. So I want to continue showing up. I want to continue showing up for myself every day, and that means doing the little things that I'm happy about, okay? I don't want anxiety to be my good excuse anymore. It's a really good excuse, I must admit. It's a banging spot on excuse that I couldn't do this because I'm too anxious. I couldn't do this because I'm too anxious. But what I want to start doing is that taking back my peace and my health and my wellness by defying it on a daily basis and saying, you know what, I'm going to be and do regardless. I will be anxious and I will do my breathing exercises and I will pick myself up and I'm going to be. Okay? And that is really what I'm going to be focusing on next. Just being, doing, and showing up. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for giving me 5 minutes of your time. Okay, I know I can talk, I can waffle, and I really appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully you have taken some nugget of help or anything that from this video. But anyway, thank you for showing up today. I appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. But share with your friends and your other honeys so that we can get better together. And if you are going through a rough patch with anxiety, reach out to me or a friend or anyone you feel comfortable speaking to. But don't die alone, okay? But yeah, that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you and I love you. And let us just continue dreaming, planning, and doing to a better life together. I will see you next time. Okay, bye.